Let's play a game. Close your eyes and picture yourself in the first 48 hours of the outbreak. You're standing in a strip mall parking lot. The smell of burning rubber and rot is thick in the air, and you are holding a weapon. $10 says you just pictured a katana, or maybe a chainsaw or a pump-action shotgun that you rack with one hand like an action hero. If that's what you saw, I have some bad news for you. You're already dead. That fantasy you have in your head, the one where you're slicing through hordes like they're made of warm butter, that is the single most dangerous thing in the apocalypse. It's not the infected that will kill you first. It's your own delusions about how violence actually works. Physics doesn't care about your main character energy. Skulls are hard, bone is dense, and stamina is a finite resource that drains faster than your phone battery in a dead zone. Most of you are prepping for a movie, not a survival scenario. You're stocking up on things that look cool but will get you eaten in the time it takes to realize your mistake. Today we are going to strip away the Hollywood garbage. We are going to look at the physics of killing, the mechanics of endurance, and the brutal reality of close-quarters combat with things that don't feel pain. If you want to survive the first week, you need to stop thinking like a soldier in a video game and start thinking like a janitor in hell. These are the 5 weapons that actually work, and the reasons why your favorite zombie-slaying toy is going to get you killed. Before we get into the hardware, let's be real for a minute. If you're the kind of person who thinks a tactical tomahawk makes you a warrior, you might want to click away. But if you want the cold, hard intel that keeps you breathing while everyone else is turning, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Welcome to the tank. We don't do respawns here. Let's establish the parameters because context is everything. We are talking about a standard biological collapse. Shamblers, fast movers. It doesn't matter. The physics remain the same. Your goal isn't to kill as many as possible. Your goal is to eliminate the immediate threat and break contact. You are not clearing the city. You are surviving the encounter. And to do that, you need reliability, durability, and utility. If your weapon only does one thing, it's dead weight. Number 1, the Halligan bar. Or if you can't get the firefighter grade, a solid high-carbon steel crowbar. I know it's not sexy, it doesn't have a laser sight or a cool paint job, but let me tell you why this is the king of the wasteland. The apocalypse is 90% access and 10% violence. You will spend more time trying to get into buildings for food or out of buildings to escape than you will fighting. A sword cannot open a security door. A bat cannot pry open a crate of supplies. A Halligan bar is an indestructible skeleton key that also happens to be a massive hunk of steel capable of crushing a skull with a single swing. Here is the trap most people fall into with blunt force. They choose something light like a baseball bat. A bat is designed to hit a ball that weighs 5 ounces. A human head weighs about 11 pounds. When you hit a skull with a bat, especially an aluminum one, the vibration travels right back up your arms. It's called hand shock. Do that 3 times, and your hands will be numb. Do it 10 times, and you'll drop the weapon. A crowbar or Halligan tool is dead weight. It doesn't bounce. It transfers all that kinetic energy directly into the target. It breaks bone. It doesn't rely on a sharp edge that can get dull or a blade that can get stuck. It is the definition of boring, and boring keeps you alive. Number 2, the cold steel boar spear, or a modernized equivalent. Hear me out. The biggest mistake you can make is letting a zombie into grabbing range. If you are using a knife, you are wrong. If you are using a hatchet, you are arguably too close. The human bite radius is small, but the infection vector is absolute. You want to be 6 feet away from the thing trying to eat you. The spear is the oldest weapon in human history for a reason. It works. But don't think you're going to be throwing it like an Olympian. That's how you lose your weapon. You use it to brace. You use it to stab and push. You create a barrier between your soft tissue and their teeth. And unlike a sword, which requires hours of training to keep the edge aligned, a spear is intuitive. Point the sharp end at the bad thing and push. The trap here is the cool factor of swords. Katanas require finesse. If you hit a skull with a sword and your angle is off by 5 degrees, the blade will flex, slap the bone, and do nothing but annoy the infected. Or worse, it bites deep into the parietal bone and gets stuck. Now you are tethered to a thrashing, biting corpse. You can't let go because it's your only weapon, but you can't pull it out before the second one grabs you. A spear, specifically one with a crossguard or wings, prevents the target from sliding up the shaft to get you. It is simple geometry. Number 3. The framing hammer. Not a sledgehammer. A sledgehammer is too heavy. You'll swing it twice, miss the third time, and throw out your back. We are talking about a 22-ounce steel framing hammer with a waffle face and a straight claw. This is the ultimate grey man weapon. You can walk around with a hammer on your belt and you look like a scavenger. You walk around with a machete and you look like a threat. Here is the tactical breakdown. The face of the hammer is for smashing, obviously. But the claw is for penetrating. The skull is a hard sphere. Trying to crack it is like trying to crack a bowling ball, but punching a hole in it, that's easier. The straight claw of a framing hammer concentrates all your force into a single point. It punctures. It disrupts the brainstem. And unlike a knife, it has the leverage to be ripped back out instantly. Most people underestimate the psychological toll of violence. Using a knife requires an intimacy that will break your mind. You have to feel the warmth, the texture. A hammer is a tool. You've used it to build things. Your brain processes it differently. It dissociates the act. Plus, like the crowbar, it has utility. You can board up windows, break locks, and hook things to drag them closer. It's a force multiplier that fits in a loop on your genes. Number 4. The Ruger 10-22 or any reliable .22 caliber rifle. I can hear the keyboard warriors typing already. But a .22 won't stop a man. You need stopping power. Sit down and listen. We aren't fighting men on drugs. We aren't fighting enemy combatants with body armor. We are fighting rotting biology that only stops when the central nervous system is severed. Here is the reality of firearms that movies ignore. Weight and noise. If you carry an AR-15, you are carrying a heavy rifle and heavy ammo. 500 rounds of 5.56 ammo weighs about 14 pounds. It takes up massive space. 500 rounds of .22 long rifle weighs a little over 3 pounds and fits in a water bottle. In a survival scenario, calories are currency. Lugging around 20 pounds of stopping power burns energy you cannot replace. And the noise. My God, the noise. You fire a shotgun in a city, you just rang the dinner bell for every infected within a 4-block radius. The echo in urban canyons is deafening. You kill one and you draw 50. A .22 is quiet. It cracks, it doesn't boom, it doesn't dislocate your shoulder. You can use it to hunt small game for food, which is something you will actually have to do. You can't hunt a squirrel with a 12 gauge unless you want pink mist for dinner. Accuracy is volume. You can put 3 rounds of .22 into an eye socket faster and more accurately than you can put 1 round of .308 into center mass under stress. The .22 is the surgeon's scalpel. The shotgun is a grenade. You want to be the surgeon. Number 5. The trench shovel, or E-tool, entrenching tool. But it has to be the fixed handle kind, not the folding garbage that snaps your fingers when you try to open it in a panic. World War I proved this. In the trenches, where space was tight and mud was everywhere, soldiers abandoned their bayonets for sharpened shovels. Why? Because it chops like an axe, but the wide blade protects your hand. It has mass. It can decapitate, it can split skulls, and crucially, it digs. You need to bury waste. You need to dig fire pits to hide the light. You might need to dig a latrine so you don't die of dysentery, which, by the way, has killed more soldiers than bullets ever have. The trap here is the tactical tomahawk. It looks awesome. It's great for throwing, which you should never do, but it has a tiny cutting surface. If you miss that 3-inch blade edge, you hit with the handle, and the handle breaks. A shovel has a massive striking surface. You can miss your aim by 4 inches and still make contact with a sharpened steel edge. It is forgiving. And in high-stress situations, when your adrenaline has dumped and your fine motor skills are gone, forgiveness keeps you alive. Now let's put this into a scenario. Let's visualize the cascade of failure so you understand why this matters. You're in a stairwell, it's narrow, concrete, echoing. You have your katana, you hear them coming up the stairs below you. You panic, you swing at the first one. The blade hits the railing because the space is too tight. It clangs, vibrates your arm and bounces off. Now the zombie is on you. You try to push it back, but you have no leverage because your weapon is designed for slashing, not pushing. You fall back. The second one grabs your ankle. You kick, you scream, you die. Now rewind. You're in the same stairwell. You have a Halligan bar. You hear them coming. You don't swing. You jab. You drive the steel spike into the face of the first one. It drops. You use the bar to hook the leg of the second one and trip it. You retreat up the stairs, using the length of the bar to keep distance. You reach a locked fire door at the top. With the katana, you're trapped. With the Halligan, you jam the forks into the jam, lean back and pop the door. You are through. You are alive. This is what separates the survivors from the loot drops. Survivors choose tools that solve problems. Casualties choose weapons that feed their ego. The reality of the apocalypse is that it is heavy, dirty, and exhausting. You will be tired. You will be hungry. You will be scared. Do not choose a weapon that demands you be at peak physical performance to use it effectively. Choose the weapon that works when you are shaking, when you are weak, and when you are cornered. Let's look at the one-tool rule. If you can only carry one thing, what is it? It's not the rifle, runs out of ammo. It's not the spear, can't open doors. It's the breaching tool, the crowbar or the Halligan, because movement is life. If you can get through a wall or a door or a floor, you can escape. If you can only fight, eventually you will lose the numbers game. You can't kill them all, but you can outmaneuver them. So here is the assessment. Go look at your prep bag. If you have a cheap machete made of mystery metal that bends when you look at it wrong, throw it out. If you have a bat, put it back in the garage. Get a tool. Go to the hardware store, not the Ninja Surplus website. Buy a framing hammer. Buy a pry bar. Sharpen a shovel. Be boring. Be practical. The apocalypse doesn't have a soundtrack. It doesn't have slow-motion montages. It has grunt work, blistered hands, and physics. You either respect the physics or you become part of the biology. All right, your turn. I want you to be honest in the comments. No plot armor, just honest assessment. If the door broke down right now, what is the closest object to you that you could actually use? Not what you wish you had, but what is within arm's reach. A stapler? A coffee mug? A heavy lamp? Tell me your improvised weapon of choice, and I'll tell you if you make it past the first hour. And remember, fancy kills, boring saves. Don't be the loot drop.